They said they would do it, and so they have. A 1,000-bed hospital built in just over a week, perhaps only in China, but still, it's a feat. This is Wuhan in Hubei province, the center of the novel coronavirus outbreak. These pictures are from the China media group, showing the hospital fully equipped and furnished. But there have been many reports, though hard to verify, of other medical facilities in China running out of essential equipment. There are no signs the outbreak has peaked. At Wuhan No. 5 hospital, the staff talk about being overwhelmed by the sheer number of patients.
I've never seen so many patients since I started working 20 years ago.
I didn't know when or where it would end. The people just kept coming. We didn't know the numbers until very late. Our doctors sat there all the time checking patients. They didn't even have time to look up.
Indeed, the trajectory of this virus is astonishing. When the World Health Organization first started monitoring the crisis, it reported 282 cases, almost all in China, with 6 deaths. A week later, more than 4,500 cases had been declared and just over 100 were dead. Today, it's more than 17,000 patients worldwide, though mainly in China, and 362 people have died so far. Wuhan remains empty, in lockdown, and as the outbreak continues, China's economy is under pressure. The stock market plunged on the first day of trading after the Lunar New Year. Businesses are closed, tourists are staying away, even the locals won't go out. The race is on to find a vaccine, though it could take at least a year, although drug company GSK announced today that it would provide to any of its competitors a booster or an adjuvant for any vaccine discovered to make it more potent.
We see a huge outbreak in China right now. If we can contain it in the Western world, Europe and in the US, then it might down over the summer. So we create a window of opportunity to give companies who are working on vaccines more time to come with a solution.
There is a degree of desperation. Nobody believes the official figures represent the true scale of the outbreak. And there is growing concern that no cases have yet been reported from Africa, where there are weaker public health systems.
The only way we will defeat this outbreak is for all countries to work together in a spirit of solidarity and cooperation. We're all in this together, and we can only stop it together. So the rule of the game is solidarity, solidarity, solidarity. But we see this missing in many corners, and that has to be addressed.
No solidarity here. These were the last passengers allowed into America after it imposed a ban on travel from China. The Chinese, in turn, accusing the US of spreading panic and fear.
And you can find the latest from Ben Kavanagh, the teacher evacuated from Wuhan, who's now inside the quarantine unit in the Wirral, on Channel 4 News social media channels. But one unpleasant repercussion of the global fear of the coronavirus has been a growing number of racist incidents experienced by Chinese and other Asian people, including here in the UK. Joining me now is Sylvia Wu, a Chinese citizen working in London, and Jessie Lau, a Hong Kong freelance journalist formerly based in Beijing, currently researching the coronavirus outbreak for us here at Channel 4 News. Sylvia Wu, let me ask you first. You've had quite a distressing experience recently, haven't you? Just tell us about that.
Yeah, sure. So the past Saturday in the afternoon, I was just walking out of a tube station in West London. And when I was walking on my phone, and then there was a voice just came to me, said, you didn't bring the virus from China, I hope. And at the moment, I was like really shocked, didn't know what happened. When I look up and trying to find who said that sentence, I saw a man staring at me and having this very judgmental expression on his face. And at a moment, I felt really offended and insulted, obviously. So I asked him to stop. After I walked away, I didn't realize he actually followed me. And then when I saw him again, he was just across the street and just swearing at me and giving me really not friendly finger gestures. And that's when I felt really upset and really scared and hurt by this incident.
Intimidating.
Very intimidating.
Did you think about reporting this?
I actually thought about it, but to be honest, I don't have very clear information about how should I do it. At the moment, I was think about just report on the staff like working in the tube station. but I also understand that's not their responsibility to deal with this situation.
What impact has this had on you, this incident?
It's really upsetting. It's really extremely upsetting to me. Because I've been living here for 6 years, London is my home now. And I think everyone is lovely. Everyone treated me really lovely. But when this happened, you just start doubting, is that true? Is everyone really think I'm a lovely person, or they just think I'm Chinese, I'm different to them? And especially after I shared my experience on Chinese social media, I got a lot of comments from my friends who also living here, said they had similar experience, people being rude to them, people just calling their names in the public. And that's when I felt like this situation really needs to stop.
Jessie Liao, let me turn to you, because you've been doing some research on this very issue, and sadly Sylvia's case, a really distressing experience, is not the only case you found, is it?
No, it's definitely not an isolated incident. On Friday, I actually put out a call on social media asking if people had received racist attacks related to the coronavirus. And in just a span of 2 days, I received 100 messages and responses. And just to share with you a couple, so there was one person who told me they were on the tube and they were trying to hold on to the handrail for stability, and someone whacked their hand away and accused them of having the coronavirus. Multiple people have been yelled at and even spat on in public. There was a doctor who had his storefront of his medical practice graffitied over with the words coronavirus. And this spike in racism is not happening just across the UK, but also globally. And it comes at a time when China's rise, both politically and economically, is causing a lot of geopolitical tension in many countries. There have been reports of restaurants in Vietnam and Japan and other countries refusing to serve Chinese customers. French and Australian newspapers have faced backlash for racist headlines. And in Indonesia, there was a march near a hotel asking Chinese guests to leave. And for me, myself, I've also received hate mail and messages from reporting on this story.
It must be really upsetting. I mean, when you hear the Chinese Foreign Ministry today saying that US is spreading panic, do they have a point? Or do you think there is some legitimate fear out there by people when they see the death toll rising?
So the Chinese government has been very transparent about the coronavirus in comparison to SARS in 2003. But there is widespread skepticism regarding the information that they release, not just within China, but also outside of China. And it's been widely reported that the authorities have delayed reporting on the virus at critical moments. And now the virus has spread to 24 countries with at least 360 casualties, which is more than SARS.
Jessie Liao and Sylvia Wu, thank you both very much for sharing those experiences with me. Thank you.